Now that we have our framing part of this process done, includes the framing with a 2x4 with a plywood sandwiched together. We have our resilient channel with the Genie Clips installed. The next step in this process is to do the drywall. So I need a drywall on the ceiling and all of the wall. So I'll take you through this process, how we put the first layer of drywall and the second layer with the glue in between the two layers, so that you have that separation where the sound wave is converted into heat when you have music, any type of music playing in your sound room. So let's go ahead and do the first process, meaning I'll show you guys how we put the glue onto the drywall before we install it. And also we'll be using the sealant in between all of our joints, and on the first layer of drywall we'll be covering all of the screw, because every one of these places is where you can have sound transmission. Let's go ahead, let me show you that process. Before I show you the process of how we install the drywall, I want to draw your attention to how we layer these drywall. The traditional way to layer drywall is to have the brown part of it up to the ceiling and the white part facing down, right? But when I'm doing 2 layers of drywall, I turn the brown part down on the first layer, and then on the second layer I've sandwiched the 2 brown parts together, right? And the reason for this is, if I were to do it the traditional way and put the first layer facing down and the second layer facing down also, it creates this void here, right? And this is what I want to avoid, right? We have about a 3/16 to a 1/4 of an inch gap here, and you don't want that. You want the two layer to have full contact with the glue. So what I did instead, I flipped the first layer down and the second layer up, and now you can see we have a tighter gap, completely sealed together, right? So I would recommend, if you're gonna do 2 layers of drywall, turn your first layer facing out or facing down, right? And the second layer, you sandwich this together with your, whether you're using a green glue or the all-purpose, not all-purpose, the carpet glue, indoor and outdoor, the one that we're using on this project, which I'll show you in a moment, you would have a better fit, right? So let me show you the process, how we put a glue on the drywall and how we put it up in the ceiling and sandwich the 2 boards together. This is our second layer of 5/8 drywall. The first layer is already installed, and we have, if you look, you see we have this blue sealant here. This is a sound sealant. It is not a glue, it's a sealant, because it never gets completely solid. If there's any movements in the drywall, it keeps it formed, right? So we use this to seal all of the joints on the first layer. We had this hole cut a little bit bigger than we wanted to, so we're gonna use the exact same thing and seal this up before we put up this layer of drywall. But before we get to that, we had already put it up just for time and cut out the hole for the lights already. But now we have this carpet, indoor, outdoor carpet glue. This is one product you can use, but you can also use the green glue product. The reason why I'm using this, because I can be more generous with the coverage. Green glue, super expensive. The requirement is 2 tubes per sheet, which in reality, to get full coverage, you need about 3.5 tubes, right? So we want to be something that is a little bit less expensive, because we want to get full coverage on the entire drywall, right? So while Siobhan finished putting this glue on the entire sheet, I just want to draw your attention to the edges of the drywall. I'll be using this is the glue here. It's not a glue, actually, it's a sealant. Okay, it's a indoor application. I'll be using it on all of the corners before we put the drywall on. Right, I'll be putting it all on all of these corners, and I'll put some more here to seal this completely. So here it is, full coverage, and this is what you want. When you use the green glue product, a lot of times you squirt it everywhere and you don't get as much coverage as this, and I want to get full coverage so we can have, you know, the best acoustic treatment on your walls and ceiling as possible, right? So now we install the drywall. I'll do the final seal where we'll seal all the joint so you guys can see that process. So if you're gonna do something like this, I want you guys to follow every step exactly the way I was done. If you miss any one of these steps, it can affect your entire soundproof process. Let's go ahead and put this up, and I'll see you on the other side. So there you have it. We installed the drywall and show you that process. And I want you to take a good look at how we seal all of the joints, because that's an important part of the process. And also the screws. Cover your screws with acoustic sealant also, because when it comes to sound wave, any gaps you have in your walls or ceiling, sound is going to travel through those gaps. So step one, rock salt, safe and sound. Step two, I would recommend using the Genie Clips. Step three, use foreign channel or at channel. Some might call it at channel, some people call it foreign channel, but they're all the same thing. And the next step will show you how we do the walls, because the walls and the ceilings, these are crucial part of the entire soundproofing process, right? But before I go, I want to give you a close-up of how the sandwich of drywall, what that look like with the glue in between the two. So now we complete the sealing step when it comes to soundproofing. We did the rock salt safe and sound, the Genie Clip, and the foreign channel, and then we sandwich the two drywall together with a layer of the indoor outdoor carpet glue. This glue, it stays pliable. That's why you should use the indoor outdoor glue. Don't just use your all-purpose carpet glue, because you're gonna dry up, right? So basically this is what you end up with. See? Sandwich between the two. So your sound wave is gonna come from the bottom or from the side if it's your wall or your ceiling. And then it's gonna be met with the glue, which will be converted into heat before it can go through your second layer. And then after that, it's gonna have to find its way through your rock salt safe and sound. Next step, I'll show you how we put the walls together. That way you can see the full wall assembly with 4 layers of drywall, 2 on either side. If you're getting any value from these videos, please hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post more videos like this.